And then when you speak on bad habits, that may include people too.
Oh yeah.
You gotta sit back and realize. You gotta sit back and think. Are these people around me? Are they helping bring the potential out of me? Or am I helping bring the potential out of them?
What's up, family? This is a Get Your Time Back series with Gerrion and Grimm. So turn your headphones up and let's get this studio some loving.
Welcome back to part two.
Part two.
And we left off talking about reaching your potential.
Reaching your potential, man. You got in it. You got in there. You said you're talking about them four walls, man. You're talking about how you got out, how you just went outside and you got to breathe your potential. At that point, you're in those four walls. It may be cold in there, it may be hot in there, but you're still kind of stuffed up because you're in those four walls. But when you walked outside and that fresh breeze slapped you in the face, you can breathe. You can feel the potential at that point. So that's one thing that is amazing. That's amazing.
Well, I think for everybody outside, that's why you should spend time with nature. So with my grandma, I would spend times walking around doing nature walks. I had a bird book growing up. I was like, I wanted to be like at one point like the next Steve Irwin. And my parents just let me think it. And then I realized I was terrified of mice. And I was like, I'm cool. But like that's like the biggest thing that I've learned is outside is so open and free. That's how you have to be in your head. That's how you have to be in your credit. That's how you have to be with your family. There's so much. I get so much enjoyment from being outside. Still to this day, and those are little habits I was able to do. We talked about this before we moved out to O'Fallon, Missouri. We didn't have that habitat where we could just go outside. You're allowed outside maybe 5 minutes under your parents' care. And there's a lot of places in America like that. And that's not fair. And we got to work better as people. And I think the number one thing we do on this platform is try to educate people on how being smart, getting educated, reading, searching what you want to do. That's what this Get Your Time Back is all about. You get your time back. The word "you" is in there. Your is derived from the word "you."
Oh yeah.
So when you're talking, we are speaking to you. If you're listening to this, it's about you. We want to see you get your own potential. At the end of the day, I don't think that I've ever reached my full potential in anything, right? And I don't know if I ever will in my lifetime, but every single day I will work to get there. I will always work to be a better person. I will always work to be a better owner. I will always work to be a better co-worker. I will always work to be a better uncle. I will always work to be a better brother. Always work to be a better son. I don't know in my lifetime if I will ever reach my full potential. Nor will anyone ever feel like that. And sometimes that's the sad part when you're on your own quest to being successful, is you never feel like you're trying to get to where you're trying to go until you get there. Right?
So at that point, that makes perfect sense. So at that point, you become what some are afraid of, and that part where you're scared of it is a big separation, and then that leads to being uncomfortable.
Yes.
At that point, you're uncomfortable. It doesn't feel comfortable. You feel like it can go either way. Okay, you lost the hope. Now you're a little scared and timid. But those that don't get uncomfortable, those that are comfortable, it's hard to reach your potential. You see, potential. When I think of the word potential, like you said, it's 5-10 years. I don't see potential right now.
No.
I don't see potential right now. When I see potential actually in myself, I'm looking 5-10 years. Okay, and that's why I feel uncomfortable at the moment, because I know it's not supposed to come right now.
Yeah. But you gotta work like hell to get there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely.
And then guess what? Sometimes too, you gotta learn how to take a break. There's like I literally have been battling my battles with being a workaholic, man. You know, like I didn't know anything but to work. You know, I grew up watching my. Actually, happy birthday to my pops. This is his birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday to G.
63, blessed to see it.
Blessing.
You know, I told him that yesterday. I said, I'm trying to get to where you are, man. He goes, he said, take your time. I said, yes, sir. With a salute. That's a soldier. You know what I'm saying? My dad has been on his own, working on his potential since he was 19. He's been in Missouri by himself since he was 19. You know, like his story alone is something that's dope. That dude came up and started working in a big corporation straight off a farm in Drew, Mississippi. The SIP, baby. The heart of America.
The SIP, baby.
You know, but he grew up with Archie Manning. We were sitting in Applebee's when I was in Pro Bowl, and he's like, I think it was Eli was on the TV, and it was me and my homie DJ Stewart. We were at Applebee's, and we're sitting there, and he goes, "Oh, that's Archie Manning's youngest boy." I said, "You know Archie?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He grew up playing with us all the time at the water hole." Huh? You know
where?
And I'm like, so you just grew up with a legend, and you just act like it's nonchalant. But that's just what he was. I remember him talking about. I said, "Dad," I said, "how many people you ever seen like Bo Jackson?" He goes, "I saw about 20, 30 Bo Jacksons when I was growing up." He's like, "They just weren't in the environment to get out of Mississippi." He said their timing wasn't right. I said, "Whoa," because to me, Bo Jackson and LeBron James are the two best athletes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
And my dad saying he grew up with 20 or 30 of those.
Imagine how many there are today.
That won't get seen. Come on this show if you're like that. We need to talk. We get some eyes on you. Missouri needs you. You know, but we probably got some in Missouri that we're just looking for. You know, like I think that's especially what we're talking about on the show. Not to get sidetracked, people are looking for you. It's about what are you doing to put your message out there. If you're on YouTube and you don't have a channel, but you have talents, right? And everyone has talents. Someone's looking for you. Our good friend Anthony Wilson, you know, said this to me, and it made the most sense. He goes, "Every question that you've ever had has been answered already. Go to the internet. Anything that you have thought to ask has already been answered in some type of capacity." And people don't understand the importance of the internet. They walk around with ignorance.
Well, you know, it's kind of scary. Like, you know, you don't want to put all your stuff out there. You know, you don't want too many people to think about what you got going on.
I used to think that way, and then I realized that was the ignorant way of thinking, because the people that relate to that are going to support that. When you I said this to, you know, a girl I dated in the past. I said, sometimes you have to realize for right now, I'm not yours. Like, not in a bad way. I mean, there's going to be times where when I'm training, I have to get up and go. Or I'm going to get a call late night, right? And the reason I would say that is it was a communication piece. Sometimes you got to understand that right now I'm not yours. Now, if we build a family, oh yeah, family comes first, always. But right now where I'm hustling, there's going to be points in times where we're sitting there chilling and I got to go. Baby, I got to go. I got to hit the road.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, guess what? If it doesn't work out, not everybody is fit to handle that. You know, and rightfully so. That's what their wants and needs and what they feel like they want their life to go. And you don't get emotionally hurt by it. Does it hurt? Yes, because you're attracted to the girl and you have feelings, or your significant other and you have feelings, and sometimes it falls apart. But at the end of the day, you got to keep moving, because if it's meant to work out, it's going to be there. I'm a strong believer in that. You know, like it was. I think this is another thing about realizing your potential. is if it's really supposed to be something for you, it's gonna be there.
It's definitely gonna be there, or you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the future in it.
Oh yeah.
You know. So what was one thing that you said you saw your potential? What happened? What was a time in your life where you're like, okay, you know what? I can really do this long term. Like, this is me. What?
Always, bro. I always knew what my potential was. Like, like not in a arrogant way. I always just knew that if I put my mind, I'm stubborn when it comes to what makes me successful.
Yeah.
You know, in a good way. Sometimes it could be a bad way, but what's bad for you might be great for me, and what's bad for me might be great for you. And so I understand that. So I let bygones be bygones, bro. I'm okay with not coming to agreements on a business deal, but saying good luck and really, really meaning it. You know, like, because I think everyone has great ideals. You know, so I think at a young age, when I put in my head that I was going to be a ball player, that's what happened. I'm still an athlete to this day.
I feel the same way.
You know, like,
it's like it too.
I'm a mental athlete now. Like, when I say mental, you don't want to get on this court. we spent some time in the mind gym. You know, that's actually a really good book too, the mind gym. You know, that's the biggest thing is, you know, I started getting back into like my weight training. Right, going back to the Mountain Olympics or Olympus, right? Because that's how I used to think. I used to always been like, man, I gotta train like Hercules and Zeus, you know, because those were my biggest influences when I was younger. I thought the movie Hercules, the Disney movie, is one of my top 10 favorite movies. Grown man, happy to say it, right? Because the story behind it, the whole thing he went. Or with the story of Hercules is he searched his whole life to find his purpose and found it at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Because he worked that way, he trained that way. You know, people fail to realize the storylines and everything behind comic books, right?
Like a lot of movies, and yeah, just a lot of movies have the storylines. If you really take it in, you really can learn something from that, rather than it being a funny action. You know what I'm saying? Drama type of movie. There's really a purpose to it.
Have you noticed that every villain in a comic book series doesn't know their potential of the good that they could do for the world, and they're so set on evil by being ignorant, and they're just as powerful as the good people?
I feel like they always come to like a villain in a movie, in a comic. There's always a point in time where they feel sympathy or empathy. You know what I mean? There's always a time, but they have to snap back out of it and become that villain again.
Look, let me put it this way. When you talk about perspective, I will tell you there are two villains that are my favorite characters in a movie series. The first one is Heath Ledger when he plays the Joker, because you can totally empathize his pain and his torment. And he does so good a job of portraying that, right? And you're like, man, I kind of root for the Joker. This dude's kind of tough, you know? But then you're like, but Batman's gonna have to get him because he's a menace. But Thanos, bro, oh my gosh, he thought he was doing the greatest good for the world. He was trying to cleanse the world. In his head, he was trying to do right, but he was an extremist, right? At no point do you, like I said, you don't violate the codes, bro. You know, and that's the cool part when you look at that. Now, one of my favorite TV series is Dragon Ball Z. The main character in there is Goku, right? Goku goes through his whole life, and I don't believe he kills one person in like 20 years of episodes. You know, and he converts dang near every villain over time into a good guy, just by being himself. You know what I'm saying? That show is tough. And guess what? He runs around acting like he's a deadbeat sometimes. Just not with the kids, and he's just training. He's all doing it. But then he provides for his family. He spends time with his family. He's a good dad. You know, and I think that, to me, in my head, what that did is that built an infrastructure on when you work on you and you train hard and you go there. That's what the top and the elite do. You know, I just think it's dope when you can really go back and look at your influences and see how they influence you now. Like the people that say video games don't influence kids, yes they do. That's why I stopped chewing tobacco, because I didn't want a kid thinking it was cool because I did it. So I'd much rather cut it out of my life than for it to take away a life from another kid. You know, like, and that's a big thing with me. One, I also want to be here long enough to see the fruits of my labor.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well,
now, for a long time, I chewed tobacco just because I wanted to chew tobacco. Point blank. You know, and that was just something where I sat down, I did the numbers on it, right? I looked at it, and I said, it's not worth it to me. And I quit cold turkey. Cold turkey. Once I put it in my head that it was no longer valuable, I was done. You know what I had to tell myself? If you go back to it, you're going to die earlier than you need to, and you won't get to see what you want to do. That's my motivation every single day. Do I get cravings still? Yes. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm not going back. There's no need. There's no need.
That's part of your uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Something that you've done for years and enjoy, and then got you out of so much stress, and it's got you know, that just got you from day to day. You decided that it wasn't an asset, it was a liability, and now, you know what I'm saying, now you can think about it and still know that it's not good for you. So
well, I cut out something that wasn't gonna make me reach my potential.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what this episode is a lot about. You know, it's a little bit more of a freelance, right? But it is talking about knowing what cuts you out. Like if there's something, well, they say this a lot. The number one way to treat cancer is to cut it out, right? There's a lot of cancerous things that go on in your life. Sometimes media can be cancerous. Sometimes your cell phone can be cancerous, right? Like sometimes good things can be cancerous. Like being too much in a fantasy or in a dream can be cancerous to you, because sometimes reality is going. You know,
all the time it's going. You just gotta manage that
all the time. You know what I'm saying? And understanding how to cut things out and manipulate your own time in a good way, right? In moderation. You got to use your time in moderation. You should never play video games for 14 hours, bro. Shouldn't happen. If you get a lazy day one time and you get to do it 3 or 4 times, that's chilling. I can't wait for the days where I get bored and I can just play my game all the time.
Right.
That means I have really done something, but I don't foresee it happening in the next 10 years.
I can't. I used to be in the game all day. Call of Duty, Madden, 2K.
I used to be with you.
We used to get it in, but I mean, I had to get rid of it. When I got rid of it, I saw my potential. I saw outside of these 4 walls, man. That's the best part about it. And then when you speak on bad habits, that may include people too.
Oh yeah.
You gotta sit back and realize. You gotta sit back and think. You know, are these people around me? Are they helping bring the potential out of me, or am I helping bring the potential out of them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes.
Then it's like, okay, now I know I'm headed the right way, because you were just as like your the closest 5 people to you. That's who you are.
Yeah. And I like what you just said is being accountable from yourself. Sometimes you have to take yourself away from people because you're not doing them any justice. You know, I think learning how to be selfless is the key to reaching your potential. But along with that, you have to be selfish in moderation, because people don't understand your boundaries, and to them, right. But people are always gonna try to benefit themselves. Always, it's human nature. You know, so that's why when you know your boundaries, you just say, no, I'm cool. Like you might, like, point blank, I will tell you, if you're listening to this and you disagree, this show's not for you. Right? If you play in one of my baseball organizations and you don't like how it's ran, it's not for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, You know, if you don't think it's for you, get out. You have that choice. It's America, land of the free. You have that option. I can't hold you here. Now, are there policies and stuff that always protect organizations? Yes. Because, like I just said, people are going to benefit themselves. So you can't get mad. You got to understand the policies on which you're coming into. And when they hold firm to their policies, you can't get mad. You signed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think a big part of reaching your potential is understanding, for one. 2, getting the knowledge. And 3 is just hard work, bro. That's how you reach your potential.
Really is. I mean, I think, yeah, definitely hard work. But I felt like I've worked pretty hard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that one thing that separated that hard work from great work is that time management. That time management. You can work so hard for a period of time and almost get like not what you wanted completed. However, if you set your time up right, you would get a lot more done. That's when they say work smarter versus harder. Smarter is still hard work, but it's planned out a lot better than just hard work.
Mm-hmm.
It's planned out a lot better, and that makes it, that's easier on you. That's less stress, and then you can actually see more potential when your time is mapped out, because you're like, oh, I do have more time for this. When you see that you have more time for this, that means you have more potential to better yourself or better those around you.
Right. I mean, work smarter, not harder, to me is the simple word for that: efficient.
Efficiency. Yep.
You gotta be the LeBron of your mindset. LeBron is one of the most efficient basketball players that you will ever see. You know, and he'll tell you about it too. I'm efficient because that's that key word. And then when you learn how to be efficient, you learn how to be consistent.
Consistent, and consistency is probably consistency.
It's the hard work.
That's your potential right there. Because, like I said, potential is that 1, 3, 5, 10 years. That consistency is something big when it comes to your potential.
Every day you're doing something with your craft.
Every day. And that does include resting. A resting day is perfecting your craft. A rest day is perfecting your craft. Planning out a rest day, other than, like you said, jumping on the video game for 14 hours. If you plan out a rest day, that is still perfecting your craft.
Yeah, I haven't learned how to do that yet.
Neither have I, but look, we're getting there.
Yes, we are. You know, but even now, I've changed my schedule a little bit. I think changing your schedule every 30 days is a good way to do it too.
Okay.
You know, for me, I know in my head, in March, I'm only moving to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. Or a Monday through Wednesday schedule. And it's going to be a challenge for me to say, no, I'm not going to do, Thursday through Sunday, because I busted my butt for the last 3 months. But not everyone is in that situation. I work to get to the situation. I talked to my dad about it yesterday. I said, you know what? I was in a situation. I tried to get back in the situation. I'm finally back in the situation. Now I'm going to manage it the right way. You get what I'm saying?
I'm back.
Yeah. You got to hustle, bro. Legally hustle.
Yeah, legally hustle and plan. You got to plan that shit out, and you hustle, man. You
Feel free to check us out at our new website, www.investments.com. We are also on every social media site at Investments. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself, and we'll see you next time.